Will the president call a housing emergency? Yeah, they're putting it out. Scott Bessent, Secretary of the Treasury, is kind of alluding to the fact that housing emergency. They're going to make that the 2026 midterm election running point. They may kick it off this fall. Um, again, uh, is there emergency? Yeah, yeah, that's an emergency. Okay, it's an emergency. I certainly hope, I certainly hope, because we've talked about this great, like the president doesn't go and again try to do all sorts of nonsensical things, usurping his power, extending the power of the executive branch of government, where he's just going to get knocked around in some court somewhere. There are a myriad of different things that they can do and run through Congress to get this done the right way and make it permanent. People have been listening to this program. They understand that we've explained that homes have never been um, less affordable than they are right now, based upon the median price of a home, medium income here in the United States. And granted, it's a big country, housing market, real estate. It's all about certain areas, and there's going to be other areas that are more inflated than others for a myriad of reasons. I get all of that, but it's insane, and it's not about mortgage rates. It really isn't. It's not about mortgage rates. One of the things I've tried to explain to people of this is important. I know I've done this before, but pay close attention. Okay. Someone wants to go out, they want to buy a home. Young family wants to go out and buy a home. They have a certain income. There's calculations that are put together in regards to how much they can afford on a 30-year mortgage. Now, anybody who's owned a home, okay, mortgage, housing payments, you've got taxes, you've got insurance, you've got interest, you've got principal. Now, if the interest element of that equation drops, if that drops, well, okay, guess what? The seller of the home knows that money is less. Okay, real estate agents know this, meaning that they can charge more for the home. So there's an inverse relationship. Oftentimes, when interest rates drop, mortgage rates drop, the price of homes goes up because guess what? You've got more money that you can spend. Now, those other two areas, okay? Insurance. First and foremost, one of the problems we have here in this country, I've explained this before, is the government should never, ever, 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 ever be involved in the insurance business. Just shouldn't. Okay? That's a scam. Okay? That's welfare for rich people. Oh, live in a flood zone. Well, don't live in a flood zone. How does that sound? Sound crude, rude, whatever it may be. Okay? You know what? I'll point myself out for this. Okay? I don't live in a flood zone. I live in Florida. Okay? I didn't want to. I could have gone and gotten a house on the water. You think I want to deal with that nonsense at my age and have to, what? My hurricane might come in and have to deal with flooding and all that. No way, no how. Okay? Yeah, I'm a stone's throw away from the water, but I'm not in a flood zone. Okay? Many homes here in this country, and insurance companies don't want to underwrite their insurance. Well, the government steps in, meaning who? You and I. Why the hell do I have to subsidize the insurance on your multi-million dollar house on the water? That is the biggest bunch of BS I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, what does that do? Well, it makes those homes on the water a lot more expensive, doesn't it? Again, you can see why real estate agents love this because they sell homes and it's based upon the price of the home. Now, play pretend here. Okay, there's no subsidies, no more government subsidization of any sort of home insurance whatsoever. Well, gee whiz, then. Okay, the insurance companies don't want to insure the home. Well, geez, guess what? You're gonna have to pay cash for that home. How many people can afford that? The price of the home will come down. You're solving a major affordability thing here when you take the government money out of the equation. They make everything go up. And I can go off on all of the, subsidized mortgages and a myriad of other things that, quite frankly, shouldn't happen. Should not happen. Now, we've gone over here on the program the problem we have with corporate home ownership. You really want to knock the price of homes down. I know Marjorie Taylor Greene keeps beating this out there, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Eliminating the capital gains tax on the selling of a home. It's going to help a tiny little bit. Just a little bit. Again, if you're smart, you own a home, you keep track of all the money you put into your home over all of those years, you can factor that in and you can, get yourself oftentimes, even if you own the home for a long period of time, underneath that $500,000, extension cap that you have that goes above on that. The other issue is home, tax rates, property tax rates. They become oppressive. They become absolutely oppressive in many markets. Get that knocked down. Okay, this would be a great way to crush. And again, this is part of the problem because, again, I don't think the donkeys or the elephants have any interest in crushing the Blackstones of the world and other types of corporate ownership of homes. I'm a big believer. Owner occupied. Owner occupied homes. Real simple. No property tax. No property tax. Or you come up with something, a much more reduced rates. Again, every municipality is different. You don't want the federal government, messing around in little towns, places here, there, and everywhere. Okay. But you have to have some sort of break. Some sort of break. We see this all the time. And again, it's awful. We live in a country where people have busted their ass their entire lives. They move to an area, and that area which is fine. It becomes gentrified. More people want to move there. The property values go up. But again, their property taxes have gone through the roof. And they live on a limited budget, and they can no longer afford to live in the home that is bought and paid for because of property taxes. A story the other day, this poor guy bought a piece of property. It's kind of like a this old house situation. Okay. He's a handyman. Okay. Knows how to fix things. Not a rich guy. He fixed the entire home himself, did everything there on the house. Property assessor did it himself. Property assessor comes in, reassesses the home at a new valuation. He has to move. He can't afford to live in the house that he bought and he fixed up by himself because the property taxes are too high. You tell me, land of the free, home of the brave. What a bunch of bullshit. And I said this again and again and again. People, we're all suckers. Okay. You don't own a home. You don't. You basically, when you purchase a piece of property or home here in the United States, you've bought usage rights. That's all that you have. You don't pay your property taxes, they take it. And you have all of this waste in local government. You want to talk about Doge? We need a Doge that. We got to go towards a consumption tax. I wish we had it nationally as far as federal tax is concerned, but on states as well. Owner occupied homes, no. You can't be paying a property tax. People can't afford it. You get rid of that. The affordability, people be able to afford a home. That is a major problem that we're dealing with. Again, also as well, the monopolistic nature of a lot of this corporate ownership. We've gone over it before, buying up entire neighborhoods, playing the game there, playing the game. Oh, look at, we bought all these homes for $500,000. We'll sit on them for a period of time. We'll sell those homes to ourselves in another fund for $200,000 more. Oh, look at that. We sell three or four of them. Now we've got comps because that's how the industry. Oh, we got comps. Oh, geez, right, homes $700,000. Now we got to sell that for more. It's a scam. It's a scam. And talk about various different antitrust stories here on the program. How does this scam benefit the consumer? Doesn't. And like I said, we go after Google, go after these tech companies, which are lowering prices and, doing various different things. Why not go after this? It's a damn racket. So yeah. Do we have a housing emergency here in the United States? Absolutely. Um, would our economy be much better, much more dynamic, if people had more disposable income rather than having to spend it on their homes? Absolutely. Big life lesson. And again, I hate conventional wisdom. We defy it all the time, and that's why we're successful. The idea out there that your home is this wondrous, terrific investment is stupid. Okay. It is a bill. It's a necessity. You have to live somewhere. They've got people believing that it's this great, all this stuff. It's not. It's not. It's a bill. You do not want to become house poor. Once people fully understand this nature, again, as financial planners, what we do, we try to explain this. Don't take your home into account with anything. It's a bill. Okay. Oh, you want to put that kitchen in? Great. Put the kitchen in your home. You want to improve it because you want the kitchen, not because you're going to actually get your money out when you sell your home, because you're not. It doesn't work that way. That's a lie. Anyway, yeah, housing emergency. Yeah. Would this be a surefire winner if it's done the right way? Yeah. Will it be a surefire loser and problematic for years to come if the government starts stepping in and pushing more types of subsidies out there? Absolutely. Watchdog on wallstreet.com.